In this week's video, we put our newly installed solar panels to the test as we prepare for a storm.
We are a family of 5 from Texas who sold everything to live full-time on our 1987 Marine Trader Tradewinds 47. We have 3 boys, Carter, Chase, and Caleb. We also have 2 cats aboard, Cheddar and Tiger. For 2 years, we have enjoyed cruising, exploring, beautiful sunsets, loads of family fun, and brotherly bonding. We also enjoy exploring the water, snorkeling, and diving. In the Florida Keys, the Bahamas, and who knows where to next. We want to say a special thank you to all of our patrons.
This is United States Coast Guard Sector Key West, Florida, United States Coast Guard Sector Key West, Florida, United States Coast Guard Sector Key West, Florida. Time, 11:46, according to Universal Time, 06:56 local time. The National Weather Service has issued a small craft advisory in the vicinity of the Florida Keys. Today, south to southeast winds near 25 knots, shifting to west in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, near shore waters extremely rough. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms through mid-morning, then widespread showers and scattered thunderstorms. All mariners requested to transit the area with caution. Break. This is United States Coast Guard, Sector Key West, Florida, out.
First thing in preparing for high winds is to check our anchor, snubber, and all lines to make sure they're secure and safe. Then, we cover our electronics and remove our canvas bimini top. We have learned if it is over 20 knots of wind or higher gusts, we just take it down. It rips many times and we don't want it to have to fix it again.
In a minute, not right now. That'd be perfect.
I got it, Dad.
Try and take off the top up there and unbutton.
Mom, I need you. We then zip tie all the poles together so they don't flop around in the wind, causing more damage to us and the boat.
Local time. National Weather Service has issued a high wind advisory due to a front in the lower Keys. All mariners are instructed to seek shelter. Break. This is the United States Coast Guard Sector Key West.
As the front of the storm arrived with the strongest winds, I heard a large crash from above.
Stay down!
Get downstairs, guys.
Stay down.
One of our solar panels had ripped out of the bolts and slapped over on top of another panel. Chris and Carter were securing the last final panels and pulling this one down. Okay, come on down. Just pull it all the way down.
Twist it on the side. Other way, dude.
I'm trying.
Great job. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Just hold on to it, Chris. Set that strap. Don't fall overboard, please. That catamaran is dragging. That one over there.
Where'd Phyllis go?
That catamaran is dragging.
I forgot that I didn't, I secured all my panels with U-bolts to each other and to the brackets, and I forgot on the outside panels, I didn't have a good way to secure them. I was gonna go do something else besides the U-bolt, and I totally forgot about it. I hadn't fixed that yet or finished it. So it picked up the edge of the panel because the wind came from that direction.
Do you think
I'm holding on to this other panel on the outside here to make sure that the edge stays down.
Do you think it cracked it?
I don't know.
So, you guys lost the panel?
It was.
I thought we lost the whole panel. You can't see anything.
I wanted to take a second and show you the underside, how we mounted these solar panels, because I've got some questions about wind, how strong our insulation is and all that. The answer is I don't really know how strong it is. I built it as robust as I could with light materials, and well, and I missed a step and then we had an issue. So this is the frame with the aluminum brackets. As you can see, it's pretty stout. I mean, my least supported spot is out here in the corners, but it's all through bolted through to our hard top up here. So as you can see, we've got these brackets bolted down to the hard top, and then we've got the U-bolts holding these. So like all things in boat projects, you work with what you got, and we were able to find stainless steel U-bolts. I can only get 6 of them because that's all we had in stock down here, so I bolted them between all the panels. I neglected or forgot to address the outside here. And what happened in our windstorm is the wind was coming in, it came from the side, it was the other side, but it took that panel, and where it was loose over here, it started to lift it up, and it basically folded that panel over on top of the other panels, and it ripped out where the U-bolt goes in. For now, temporarily, I've just thrown some zip ties on here to hold them down. I need to get, what I want to do is get some sort of a metal bracket that clamps through all that. I just haven't found the right solution at the moment. So we're going with this for now. That being said, even in that windstorm, if I had had it properly, if I had had it even just zip tied like this, it would have kept it down. The problem is when it gets a little bit of lift, all of a sudden you take that windage, just like you do on if you have a little bit of sail versus a lot of sail, you're gonna have more power in a bigger sail. So as soon as it started to pick it up, it created a bigger sail and it caught it and just ripped it over. That being said, already super impressed with these LG panels. They're tough. If you didn't know that they had just flipped over and slapped one another, you'd never know that they'd taken a hit like that. They're just very, very durable. And the wiring, I was able to put it back together, and I had it working the next morning. So I was very impressed. The other thing that was cool, our Victron charge controllers, the one that had the issue where it ripped the wire out, that automatically shut that panel down. It's recognized there was something wrong with the circuitry, and that Victron controller stopped producing charge and basically shut those 2 panels down. That brings up another question we have, is why do I have two charge controllers? One is just because the wattage of these panels, they're rated, I can only take so much current through each charge controller. So you can have different size charge controllers to handle different size current. In discussion with eMarine, we decided the best would be to do the 150/60s, and you have to look up and see what that rating is. I think that's the rating, how many volts or how many amps or something like that. I think it's 60 amps. That would be perfect for running 2 of these. I can't run 3 because it's too much, but having 4 panels, we can get 2 of those, and the benefit for that is now I have 2 circuits, is the best way to think of that. So when I broke that one panel that one day, it shut off automatically those 2 panels. These 2 panels continued to produce power. So that's why you would separate your system. The other reason is as you get fully charged, it'll shut certain panels down. So if you only have one big array, when you get close to charge, it'll just shut the whole thing off. Versus mine, it shuts one array off and then turns the other one down to low. And so I have more control. We have friends that have 3 different arrays, and it does the same thing. It shuts the 2 big ones off and they just trickle charge on the one smaller circuit. So on a boat, redundancy is huge. And the damage, the charge control, the ability to change how much you're charging and how little you're charging, all that makes a big deal on a boat. That's the main reasons, is the redundancy for the 2 charge controllers. Question we get as well, since we've done the solar install, is where are we going to keep our dinghy? A lot of you know we would put our dinghy up on top here. Here's our dinghy davit. I don't know if you can see the marks on the floor, but this right here was where I had a holder, and the other holder was like right in the middle of the solar panel. The dinghy would sit right here. So of course with the solar panel there, where are we going to put it? Our thought was to move it forward, because the dinghy davit's still right here. We can swing it in and drop it right here. The issue is this slide we've got. This is the slide that opens up to our fly bridge. So we open this when we want to walk up so we're not smacking our head. And you've got some elevation there. So we're going to have to put in some stands or build some stands to elevate our dinghy and put it right here. The biggest issue is if I'm going to clear that solar panel over here. As we swing the dinghy in, we would normally come pretty close to this. So either I can maybe adjust some straps on the dinghy or something else, but that's the biggest issue because I don't want to damage these brand new solar panels with the dinghy. That being said, right now we're currently at anchor and we're not cruising for a little bit because I'm working. So with the dinghy, what we do is we lock it up behind the boat every night and it just stays in the water. So I haven't pulled the dinghy out of the water for a couple months. Mainly we put it up here when we're cruising, long distance cruising, going across the Gulf Stream, stuff like that. We can tow the dinghy behind, but I like to cruise with it up because I don't know what my situation is at the other end. It gives me more maneuverability. I don't have to worry about something behind the boat. So I've got some time to figure that out. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to
Talking From Our AFT. This week we're going to answer a question from one of our YouTube comments. If it was just the 2 of us, me and Chris, and no kids, would we still be living this lifestyle? Simple answer.
I say yes. What do you say?
So yes. And actually, there's not, I would say, it was a definite yes.
Yeah.
So our original dream was actually, though, to do this after the kids were gone.
Yeah, and we originally wanted to go live on an island somewhere.
Yep.
And kind of plug into a local community, and but then we realized we wanted to visit all the islands.
Right. So.
And then we figured we would travel through the Caribbean and figure out which island we liked best, or just found a community in, and then we would move there.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit.
Well, but even to back up, so 5, 6, 7 years ago, we were like, man, when the kids are all out of the house, we're going to go live on a boat and travel the Caribbean, right? Yeah. So all that. And then things, there's a push and a pull with just the American dream and getting tired of it. Don't mess with that, Chase. And then, so there was the American dream and getting tired of it. And then there was Chris's business and what are we going to do with that? What's the future look like? And then we were like, well, shoot, maybe we should do this with the kids. So that's why we did it now with the kids.
Probably a 2 or 3 year thought process from the time we kind of had the initial thought to the time we sold everything and moved aboard.
Yeah.
So it was several years in the making.
Yeah. And even now, our dreams morphed a little bit again. And so after our kids are all out of the house, it's a house. We didn't say out of the house. Off the boat.
Permanently.
Overboard. I don't know. I still have dreams. I want to go cruise around the Mediterranean.
Well, they've
for
expanded.
2 years.
It went from let's just cruise the Caribbean to let's cruise the Med, let's visit Europe. Chase wants to go down and visit the Great Barrier Reef.
Yeah.
So we've kind of got, more than anything, I think we've got a travel bug and we've got a desire to go experience all the other cultures.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it's okay if our original goal of trying to travel the whole Caribbean, we wanted to do it in 2 years. Well, that was pre-COVID. We had that dream, and things have changed, and so we've kind of morphed that dream. And if it takes 5, 6, 7 years to get around the Caribbean, that's fine. It doesn't mean that we're failures. I'm telling myself this. It will get there, and sometimes it takes longer than I wanted, and that's okay. I just have to. That's where we started the phrase "enjoy the journey."
Yeah.
It's just enjoy today.
If it was all about just getting to that, then it's like, well, are you enjoying today?
Yeah.
And you know what? We've set our life up now where we do enjoy most days. Everybody has their days, but
next week's video.
And Chase, stop clicking, buddy. The Chase is sitting here. He's trying to do his homeschool, but he's a little fidgeter.
Yeah.
So he's distracting, and I've completely forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know where were we talking about.
But no, we've set up our life where I enjoy. We enjoy our life, and we're trying to enjoy every day. Mm-hmm. We are living on an island now. Mm-hmm. It just happens to be connected to the mainland of the United States. But we found our community. We're mm-hmm. getting set up.
Yep.
We're getting plugged in.
Yep.
And
yeah,
this is what we're doing for now.
Yeah, we like it here.
We've stopped trying to make long-term plans. We have long-term goals that we'd like to do, but we'll get around to it when we get around to them.
We don't put timelines on things anymore because we don't know.
Not just boat life in general teaches you that you just can't make plans more than a few days out.
Yeah. Weather
and all kinds of other constraints. But then with the whole political and health crisis going on in the whole world right now, it's just nobody. I think everybody's learned that this year.
Right. I think everybody realized that you just can't make long-term plans.
Not with the craziness.
You don't know what's happening. So it's kind of like all y'all living in a house have learned what boat life is like.
A little bit.
Like things can change in an instant, and that's boat life for sure.
Yeah. So. Yours is done by your elected officials. Ours is done by the weather. So
we are slaves to weather. That's what we tell people. Like, we are slaves to weather. That is our...
And I think as the boys leave the boat, I think we'll continue to live on the boat.
Oh, absolutely. I think it'll... one of the biggest reasons that we actually did come and settle in the Keys is because the kids really were wanting some community and some roots. I think Chris and I would have bopped around a little bit more. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have a job you love, but at the same time, I think our travel bug would have kicked in a little more and bopped us around a little bit more often than with kids. They want some roots and some security with, friends and where they are right now. But so we're here. We're going to still travel seasonally, though. Probably not a full-time, everyday travel that we've been doing for like a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah. It'll be more seasonal, and then we'll go with the right weather, right
we've learned what seasons are good for cruising for what we like to do. Yeah. And so we're going to try and cruise in those conditions at that time of year.
As you can see in today's video, the winter in the south is windy season, and wind happens about once a week. We get a good windstorm, not as intense as this last week's windstorm.
Yeah, that was a front actually. Then it came all the way from Texas all the way through to the Bahamas.
Well, and the Northeast got snow.
Yeah.
And then the bottom line, it kicked off tornadoes all through Florida.
It did.
So it was intense.
But that being said, we're also getting more used to the wind and the conditions, and I love the freedom and the relaxed. Mm-hmm. There's just no pressure now.
Yeah.
So. Hope that answers your questions.
Thank you.
If you got more questions, leave them in the comments below. We'll do our best to answer those on these segments we call Talking From Our AFT.
And remember,
enjoy
the journey.
Wait, I messed up. Can we do it again?
No.